Question number 3 has been asked by the Honorable Swart to the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, House Chairperson. Firstly, is to correct what I said earlier on and to state that the head of the ID has now been appointed by His Excellency the President, so the capacity will be enhanced. Enhancing the capacity and skills of the NPA to effectively prosecute corruption is a national priority. The nature and extent of alleged corruption described in the Zondo reports highlights the need for bold and innovative approaches to enhancing the capacity and skills of the criminal justice entities, including the NPA. These are complex crimes that require sophisticated response. In this regard, the NPA was allocated an additional budget of 1.1 billion over the 2022 MTF period as follows: 2022-2023, 422 million and 7, 2023-2024, 327 million, 2024-2025, 342 million rands. 68% of the allocation will be used to enhance the anti-corruption capacity of the NPA through additional staffing in the following units: the NPS 700 aspirant prosecutors, the AFU 17 senior state advocates, OWP 12 protectors, the ID Independent Investigative Directorate 91 investigators and prosecutors. Despite this additional funding support, the fiscals will never have enough funds to meet the demand on the prosecutors in light of the findings of the Zondo Commission. The NPA has identified the need for an additional 1.2 billion rands in the 2023 MTF period. The NPA is engaging National Treasury to explore options on how to appropriately utilize private donor funding and in-kind support without undermining its independence. The NPA will ensure accurate and transparent donation reporting and will establish a donor funding oversight committee as further governance structure. The National Treasury and the DG of Justice are working closely with the NPA to establish the said oversight committee. All cash donations will be managed through the RDP funds through the National Treasury processes. The RDP fund can be used to support any request from the broader criminal justice system. In addition to more skills and capacity, we will be providing the required tools of trade needed to deliver on their important mandate, critical to the success of the strategy to address corruption in the appointment of suitable senior counsel to support the prosecution in high-level complex matters. There has also been a steep increase in the need for expanded witness protection due to the threatening or sometimes killing of whistleblowers. And also, the president has also appointed Advocate N. Somaru as a Director of Public Prosecutions in the Free State, Bloemfontein, Advocate M.R. Mukari Sekwalala as the Director of Prosecutions Northwest, Advocate N.A. Bell as the Director of Public Prosecution, Western Cape Division. This is a clear commitment and demonstration of this government capacitating the National Prosecuting Authority and giving it the relevant support and skill to do its job without any fear, favor, or prejudice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The first supplementary question, the Honorable Swart.
Thank you, House Chair. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, rising from your response, it is shocking that only 106.4 million was allocated to the investigative directorate within the MPA during the present financial year, and we as the ACDP welcome the additional funding, considering that the Zondo Commission made the scathing comments that the MPA's failure to respond adequately or at all to the challenges of state capture corruption points to a fundamental failure of a sovereign state function. And so we appreciate that very serious steps are being taken to enhance the capabilities of the MPA, of the Investigative Directorate, and we support the appointment of the new head of the Investigative Directorate, and thank you for correcting yourself in that regard. However, Honourable Minister, you indicated that the NPA has still indicated a shortage of 1.1 billion rand. So clearly, given the hundreds of, or the large number of cases referred to by the Zondo Commission, they will not have the capacity to deal with all the matters. Will the Honourable Minister support those requests for additional funding from National Treasury to ensure that successful investigations and prosecutions, together with the private sector, are instituted in terms of the Zondo Commission recommendations?
Thank you, Honourable Swart. The Honourable Minister.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for those words, Honourable Swart. We always gain a lot of insight from your inputs, and as you have said that you had raised this issue in the previous financial year, hence this response to capacitate the ID and all the relevant institutions. While the capacitation has been in a very large scale, but as you have said, there is still a need, as I've said earlier, about the issue that we may still need more funding. Hence, we are exploring the issue of the RDP fund, which is there in government, which in the form of the current solidarity fund that we have used during the crisis of COVID. It is clear that we may need a fund of that nature. Hence, we are looking at the RDP fund with the National Treasury because of the volume of work that will definitely go to all the law enforcement agencies, not only the NPA, because as you are aware, this relates, it's almost like a relay effect from investigation by the police or the SIU, and then to the NPA and to the justice system, the courts, and later the correctional service. So all those, that whole value chain needs to be capacitated to be able to respond adequately to this. And I can assure you that we are exploring all avenues with the National Treasury. And we are also cautious because with all the avenues that we need to explore in terms of the RDP fund and of any kind of donor funding that may end up coming into the space, we need to ensure that the independency of the NPA, which is sacrosanct, is never or may never be compromised. Whatever happens must still be within what the Constitution allows in terms of the independency of the NPA and in terms of the NPA Act. So hence this task become a bit complex in engaging with the National Treasury, the Department of Justice, and also the NPA itself. And one of the mechanisms, as I've said, is to look into some kind of an oversight committee, which will then ensure that whatever that might happen, it is still in line with the Act, so that we don't have fallbacks and all the matters are handled properly, including the finances that are intended to help the NPA. You can be rest assured the fact that we have engaged with the National Treasury to have additional funding. It's a clear political commitment from this government that we want to support the work of the NPA, the ID in particular, and also all the law enforcement agencies to be able to follow through and implement all the recommendations of the Zondo Commission of Inquiry. And we will continue to do so. Thank you.